we'll come on in here and sit down and on in and just going in and shut this door and then I come back out and get my can. Still on that side of the weather, right?
Works. Still works. Yeah.
Even a cookie works if you don't believe in it.
Right. I believe in cookies though.
Yeah, my firm. Listen, I'm gonna tell you something. Before we talk about children, I'm telling you, and I've never experienced much of the crack or the heroin or things like that, but sugar. I'm telling you,
Powerful drug.
sugar is a heck of a thing because, I mean, and, you know, I talk to people, and I've got some friends that are a little rough on the oxy and some different things that have a little hard time with it, okay? And I don't say anything. I don't say anything about it because this is the deal. I have enough trouble not eating the Chips Ahoy cookies. So I imagine how I'd be if I was taking me oxy twice a day, okay?
Yeah.
I mean, people don't know. I mean, I can imagine how hard this is, you know, and you know, said one time my grandpa was pretty tough on it. He said one time, I wish God would send this down with Dad. He said, I wish God would send down lightning on all these drug addicts. And Dad stopped him. He said, be careful, old man. You might lose somebody we love. He said, so you don't know, okay? I mean, it's tough. Right. And these things are tough on you people and tough on our bodies. And I don't know, man. I'm fascinated. I think about that a lot, and I think about those things. And listen, when I go through Hardee's in the morning, I want one of those cinnamon raisin biscuits so bad I can't hardly stand it. I mean, I could shoot it in my vein if I could get it. You know, shoot one of this. I get it in a 2-pack. And then I think, I fight it, okay? Yeah. Now, sometimes I don't always fight it. About once a week, I give in to the temptation. But, I mean, I do pretty good if I feel like if I make it 6 or 7 days. I mean, 6 days anyway. But, I mean, there's things that addictions and things that get a hold of you like that are rough on you.
Right.
They really are. Well, children, let's get back to children. You said you had, like, 20 or how many you had?
Somewhere around that range, last count. I got really good kids.
Good.
Of course, we own Muncy Motors, and I've turned that over to them. And,
right.
A lot of people still call me, but I refer them up there. And,
right.
7.5 years ago, my son come to me and he said, Dad, do you think we could start a car dealership? And I said, well, if everything was just perfect, we can do it.
Yeah.
He said, how much would it take? That's $20,000 probably just to get you started. Mm-hmm. He went and borrowed on a title $16,000.
Right.
And that was in, I think, May of 2017, maybe. And he borrowed that much money, and he took that much money, and through a friend, we contacted Old Hickory Buildings. They set us up in Princeton, and we started selling buildings over there. In the meantime, he said, what about the cars? I said, well, we'll pray about it, and if we can get a floor plan, we'll do cars. He said, okay. So he applied for the floor plan, and it was approved.
Yeah.
So he took that, and we struggled really hard for a few months with no income whatsoever, and struggled really, really hard where it got to the point that, it's not going to work. And God blessed us with a huge month. So 27 buildings in 1 month, which is huge.
Lord. 7
in one day. And that carried him over and up to where the car started selling. And the rest has pretty much been history. We've been able to buy the location where he's at up there now. And they've learned a lot working there. And, and they're not going to get rich. But, it keeps them going.
Yeah, I figure if you got more blue jeans than you can wear, you're already rich.
Yeah.
Don't you?
Yeah.
More shoes, more blue jeans. It's junk we can't never touch.
Right.
And we're rich, and then, we can talk about family and being rich, and I understand all that, but I'm telling you, sometimes, I don't know, it's easy to lose track of stuff and become so fixed on stuff that we lose track of the important things.
It really is.
It really, man, I'm telling you, there's times that it really is. I don't know. I look at it and think about it a lot, and I run into stuff, and I don't know. I think of how we can lose track. We get to looking at life, and we can really lose track of what's really important in life. So when you think about, if I come to you today and said, "Listen, Mike, tell me this. What could you do? What if tomorrow I said I'm gonna pick you up at 9 o'clock. I don't pick you up real early. 9 o'clock, and we're going to do whatever makes you happy." What would it be?
I'll be, you don't have to pick me up. Just give me my remote control. And let me see what's on the History Channel on YouTube. You know?
Right. Well, I'm telling you, it's such a window into stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I catch myself like that a lot, okay? And something I want to learn about, I'll flip over to YouTube and I'll search it. I say, how do I know? What? I'd like to know how to do that, you know, and I'll look for it.
You learn so much.
I mean, listen, man, I pick up on stuff. And listen, I've got friends out there that don't like the Japanese TikTok, and I understand completely. I mean, if you don't like something, I understand completely. Now, but a lot of things I cook, I get off TikTok. I'll go on there and I search. It's all what you use things for.
That's where I get my news.
I mean, I find stuff. I mean, a hammer can be a real problem if it falls. All right, let's take things that can be a problem if you don't know about it. Yeah. Yesterday, I was on a ladder, and I come off that ladder backwards and hit the ground like a ton of bricks. And I fall off ladders a lot. Okay, and I hit the ground up there. A ladder can be a real problem if it's not used right.
Right.
Okay, so it's the same thing when we talk about stuff like TikTok and we talk about Facebook and YouTube and all these things. It's according to how you use something,
right?
And take stuff and use it. And like you're talking about, man, you can, and I can find myself, if I'm not careful, I won't leave the house. I start watching things and I do things instead of going out and do it. And then I try to force myself to make sure I leave, you know, and go do stuff and get things and travel and go places and do those things. And that's just what I do.
Whenever I cook a dish of anything I make, I'll practice several times, and I'll study it. Right. I'll watch different people make it.
Right.
I'll think about it, and then I'll make it the way I want it. And the first time might not be right.
Right.
I might think, you know, I need to change it this way, but after a couple of times, I got it the way I want it.
I have versions, okay? And I've got another project I'm working on. I'm into version 4. Okay, because I'll be laying there and I get to thinking about it, and I get to thinking, well, I could do it like this. Now I have trouble, and it seems like you are not like this, but I have trouble with a written recipe sometimes. Okay, I mean, I'm not as good at following it. I've got buddies that have wrote cookbooks and stuff like that, and now Janice follows everything to the letter. She's down the line with it. Okay,
but you can never invent anything new by following somebody else's
I know. I like to play with it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I enjoy playing with it. I like cooking and playing with it and fooling around with it. And now I'll tell you this, what I did. I didn't cook at all. How long have you been cooking when we talk about cooking?
You know, probably seriously just the last 5 years maybe.
See? Is that dadburn COVID? COVID did it to you. Did it to me too.
Yeah, I just found joy and peace in it. Relaxing.
I tell you what I found. And I didn't cook until COVID, okay? Till COVID come. COVID affected my wife different. She never tested positive, but it caused her not to find the pans and the skillets anymore. She's disoriented by it. But now it caused me, I started cooking, and I shared this before. I watched a guy on there called Drunk Steve, okay? Yeah. And he cooked all the time. And he would go places and he would camp out underneath a billboard, and he would camp out in a drainage line. He would do stuff. But anyway, when he got there, he'd pull out this Coleman stove. And he would pull out a little bit of beef roast and some potatoes and carrots. And he just cooked. And I said, man, if he could do that. So then what I done is started cooking. And I found, like, I tell you what I found. I found completion. When I cook something, I cook it and I find like, it's like I actually completed something. Right. And with my work and what we've done with television is never finished. Okay, you turn it on, it's on 24 hours a day. Okay, right. It's always going. It's never something that's finished. But I found completion.
Right.
That makes sense. What do you really like to cook?
The thing that I'm most famous for, I guess, or you have to call it famous.
Infamous.
Most known for. It's things that I can package in small boxes, right? Like the pepperoni rolls. My pepperoni rolls I crave them myself. Right. You know, they're really, really good. And the cinnamon rolls, because I can package those in small packages. But I can make a lot of different things, a lot of country food. And like you said, I can taste it and know what to put in it. Right. I can taste it in my imagination. Right. I think it needs this, this, and this. Put it in there, and it comes out good. Or if I try somebody else's recipe, I say, don't know about that. Let me add this. Right. And make it my own and change it differently. But the pepperoni rolls are really good. I can make really good pizza.
The challenge I have is cooking in small portions.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm really working on it. And I tell you what's helped me a lot. I bought me a 2-quart crock pot for $10 from Walmart.
Right.
And I cook in smaller portions. I make sure instead of doing 5 potatoes, I do 1 potato. Okay, and then I'll do just this. And I've started doing it, trying to force myself, because what I found is so many people out there that are just 1 or 2 people in the home. Mm-hmm. And when I'm fixing something for 14 people, it's too much. A big crock pot, a 12-quart crock pot is too much. And but I think there's a big need for being able to take and do something on smaller portions.
My wife always watched these cooking channels, and I'd come home from work, and I'd be like, I'm not watching that stuff. I'm not watching that. We're going to watch the History Channel. We're going to watch the news. We're going to watch Hogan's Heroes or something. And I turn the channel now.
Right.
That's all I watch. You know, and I want to learn how somebody else does it.
Yeah.
And what got me really into this, I watched somebody make bread. And I got this crazy idea in my mind. I said, I can do that. Mm-hmm. And the first time I tried it, they were really, really good. Well, you know, my dough rose just right. I done everything right. And I said, well, that's good. Let me see if I can make it better.
Right.
And then from then on, every time I try to make it, I try to make it better.
Yeah. I think, I tell you what, I'm getting ready to start cooking right now. And I've done it a while back, and I quit for 6 months or longer. I want to go back to cooking casseroles.
Yeah.
I love making nice casseroles.